Minecraft is a massive game that has hundreds of features, but there's also dozens of secret and hidden features that hardly anyone knows about. In this video, we'll take a look at 10 of the more interesting and useful secret features in Minecraft Bedrock and Java Edition. Let's hop into it. Did you know that you could dye shulkers any color? You just gotta click on them with a piece of dye. You can do this in survival mode, and you can turn them into any of these 16 different colors in Minecraft. Weirdly, there's no way to undye them. No matter what you try and do, they will always be that color. Even if you dye them purple, they're still going to be way more vibrant than a default shulker. So now you can make the shulkers in your shulker farm way more interesting looking just by dyeing them. If you're really dedicated, you could even prank your friends by putting a shulker into their mess of shulker boxes. You probably know that you can strike a lightning rod with a channeling trident, and that will actually summon in some lightning. However, did you know that you can do this during a rainstorm? It doesn't even have to be thundering out. Wow, fun fact, Silent, but this gets way more interesting. Lightning rods are actually movable by pistons, so if you go ahead and throw a trident on top of there, and then we power this thing, I think you can see where this is going. It's going to strike that every single time. And lightning rods emit power when they get struck by lightning. So all we need to do is put a block and some redstone right here, and then suddenly we have an automatic lightning machine. And this is so loud, but also incredible. You're not limited to just one trident either. You can set up as many as you want. Like 3, for example. This secret Minecraft feature will change your life forever. Of course, mobs can wear mob heads, but there's a bug with baby zombies, where if you equip a mob head to them, they are extra large for no good reason. This applies to all the heads, like wither skulls, Steve heads, zombie heads, even creeper skulls, and dragon heads are just absolutely humongous. Look at that. We also got the piglin heads and skeleton skulls as well. It works with baby zombies, husks, and even the baby pigmen as well. Aw, that took a while to spawn in. I think you should definitely give some baby zombies in your worlds some zombie heads and prank your friends with this. The dragon head is by far the best use of this because, like, it takes up way more space than the entire body of the guy. It's it's humongous. Also, this command block is just here to teleport them in place so that we can look at them. This is a classic Bedrock bug at this point, but if you stand next to a dispenser with some glowstone in it and power that, instead of the glowstone going into your inventory, it's gonna go into your head slot. So now you're wearing glowstone on your head. It's not visible, although I'm sure you could make it visible using a texture pack. And this gets better. You can even put this on mobs as well. So this zombie and the skeleton are both wearing a glowstone, and that's why they're not burning in the daytime. You can try this out yourself. It does work in survival Minecraft. This is a new secret feature, but Mojang just added a new type of raid farm to Bedrock Edition, and they're better than regular raid farms. Now when illagers spawn in the world, they can join an existing raid. So if you have a raid next to your pillager outpost, all of the illagers that spawn in the outpost will join the raid, and their loot tables actually change, so you can get emeralds, enchanted books, and all the other gear from them. This allows you to get really, really good emerald rates from a super basic setup, and you don't need to worry about dying to raids or any of the shenanigans that go along with a regular raid farm. I already got a tutorial for this. You can check that out. Link is everywhere. Every time I show this, I get a bunch of comments saying, I never knew you could do that, but there's actually a bunch of different ways that you can summon in iron golems and stuff. It doesn't have to be just the standard T-pose and then a pumpkin on top. You can spawn them in sideways like this. You can even spawn them in upside down, and this even works for snow golems. Of course, you got the regular method, the upside down, and then the sideways. Now on Java, you have to use a carved pumpkin to spawn them in, this actual block right here, but on Bedrock Edition, you can just use regular pumpkins without the carved, and you can even use jack-o'-lanterns as well, because welcome to Bedrock. We have nice things. Now, the sideways spawning trick also works with the wither as well, which is really useful, and I'll show you more of that in a minute. But there's another trick where you can spawn in a false statue, kind of like this, and then break out that armpit block. And now, if we place another wither skull anywhere in this little area where the pumpkins are, we can actually spawn in that wither, as you can see there. That's a great way to just completely ruin your friendships. Thanks to the sideways spawning method, mobs actually spawn several blocks away away from where the statue is, and this means that we can summon the Wither inside of end gateways, or more importantly, inside of the bedrock floor of the overworld for an extremely simple and easy Wither killer that's like ultra reliable. I killed over 1,000 Withers using this method. If you want to see the easiest way to defeat the Wither in Bedrock Edition, check out the tutorial, links are everywhere. There's a little known trick with charged creepers where if you have a charged creeper blow up a ton of mobs, each one of those mobs will drop a mob head. So if you have a Wither skeleton farm sending mobs to the overworld, you can then blow all those guys up with a single charged creeper, and every single one of them will drop a Wither skull. This is a really easy way to get stacks upon stacks of Wither skulls in no time at all. And this works for any mob head in the game, so you can get a ton of zombies, skeleton, piglin heads, whatever you want. This is the way to do it. I actually have a tutorial for this as well. Links are everywhere. If you play on Bedrock Edition, you should know about this feature. Cauldrons are actually really overpowered on this platform, so you can put potions in them, and not only is that dyed cauldron water look really cool, it also lets you build tipped arrows. So if you put a single potion in here, that's going to give you 16 tipped arrows. 2 of them will give you 32 tipped arrows, but if you put 3 potions into a cauldron, that's going to give you a full stack of tipped arrows, and this is by far the easiest way to get tipped arrows in Minecraft. So all you do is brew up some potions, and then you simply click on a cauldron with those, and now you can get as many tipped arrows as you want. It is absolutely great. Not only is this great for combat with harming and poison arrows, but this is also great for villagers because you can put weakness potions into the cauldron and then get an entire stack of weakness arrows, and these actually work for curing zombie villagers. You probably know that on Bedrock Edition, you can change the pose of armor stands by crouching and then interacting with them, and there's a bunch of different poses. But did you know that these guys are also a redstone component? If you power the block they're standing on, that'll change their pose. And depending on the signal strength, they'll have a different pose. So as this signal strength decays, they're going to start dancing and moving around. With just a simple redstone line, you can make all of these guys instantly change pose just by powering it, as you can see here. And if you set up the redstone a little bit like this, then you can make them all change to specific poses whenever you want to. Each button here is a different pose, and it's kind of fun. You can also make them completely freak out if you power them quickly enough, and it's a bit concerning. This is a really important life skill for anyone who plays Bedrock Edition. If you look over the edge of a block, you can place the blocks there, but this gets way better. If you run it towards the edge and start placing blocks a couple blocks away from the edge, just hold down the place button and you'll start bridging out in front of you. And this is kind of like God bridging, because you just keep holding down the button and then you can run and jump and you're just speed bridging out in front of you. This will absolutely change how you play if you do any kind of Sky Wars. Once you run out of blocks, keep holding down the button, because then you can pick block and you can actually keep on going. You don't even need to change stacks in your inventory, and you don't need to do anything at all. You can even do this with slabs, which is really helpful in the end dimension bridging between islands. It seems really sketchy, but this is actually a really reliable method, and you're not going to fall off unless you're really bad. Bedrock Edition is home to a bunch of different weird secret blocks. Just a few of these are still in the current updates though. So this is the border wall block. It actually has a really nice texture, I think, and this is essentially just a world border. If you're in survival, if you're not an admin, then you literally cannot walk past this. It's kind of very nice. And this is the deny block. If you're above this in survival, you cannot do anything. You can't place blocks or anything like that. And this is the opposite, the allow block. And of course, this is what they look like in the inventory. Pretty basic little blocks. Now, there's also things like the structure void and barrier blocks, which are pretty common, light blocks, which everyone knows about, and then of course there's all the common, utilities like jigsaws, structures, and the 3 different types of command blocks. All of this stuff is a pretty common knowledge, but specifically these 4 blocks right here, no one really knows about. There are so many more secret blocks on Bedrock Edition, but some of them you can only get with World Edit, and some of them have been removed in previous updates. These are just a couple of the ones that I've collected over the updates, but I want to get them all, so let me know if you want to see a video on every single possible secret block in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. One of my favorite ones is the leaded oxalotls. So in a previous update, when you place them down, they'd be leaded to you, but now they just summon in a lead. It's kind of great. Do you ever have trouble finding the buried treasure on Bedrock Edition? Well, there's a somewhat simple trick that can help you find it every single time. So you want to go over the X while you have the map out, and then find the chunk borders around you if you can. There's plenty of texture packs that will show you the chunk borders. Now, you also want to find the direction, So that right there is going to be north, and this is going to be the northwest corner of the chunk. You can go down by 9 blocks, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this right here is 9. The treasure is actually going to be right underneath this block every single time, and you no longer need to dig around in the area frantically just looking for it. You can also just find the 2x2 center of the chunk, and the treasure will always be on the southeast corner of the center. If you don't want to do all that, you can also just use the website chunkbase.com, set it to your world seed and bedrock edition, and then that'll literally tell you the exact coordinates of every single treasure chest in your entire world. And there is way more of these things than you might expect. Definitely way more than you'll ever find with treasure maps. On Java Edition, this is a lot easier, but it's the same exact concept. So you just go over the X, you press F3G to bring up your chunk borders, and then you want to press F3. Now you're looking for the block inside of the chunk there, so it's underlined, and you just want to be standing on 9, 9, and this is exactly where your buried treasure is going to be. It's so much easier in Java. There's actually 4 secret paintings in Minecraft for all the elements. These have been around for absolutely years, and they're not actually accessible in creative mode or by commands or anything like that. They were accidentally added in one snapshot on Java Edition where you get them in the creative inventory, but they've since been removed. Check out this video to see the craziest redstone in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, then subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys down in the comments and in the next one.